When you were a kid, you probably knew somebody who claimed to be double jointed, who could bend their fingers backwards or put their feet behind their head. Maybe you could. Today we're going to test ourselves for joint hypermobility. We're going to be using the Beighton scale for testing hypermobility. This is the same that doctors use. So the first thing you're going to do is hold your hand level in front of you and try to bend your pinky finger back to 90 degrees or beyond. If you can do it with one finger, you'll give yourself 1 point. If you can do it with both little fingers, then you get 2 points. Try bending your thumb to your forearm. You get 1 point for each thumb. Extend your arms out in front of you. If they bend back more than 10 degrees, give yourself 1 more point. If you can bend your knees back more than 10 degrees, you can give yourself another point. And this is the trickiest one. You can see my daughter didn't quite get it right there, but keep your knees straight, bend forward, and try to touch the ground with your hands flat. This is testing for a hypermobile spine. If you can do this, give yourself 1 more point. How did you do? If you scored 5 or more, then you probably have hypermobile joints. Now, a lot of people do have hypermobile joints, and it's not damaging to their joints in any way. It's just the way that they're built. But for some people, it's the strongest sign of a connective tissue disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a connective tissue disorder caused by defective collagen. Collagen is kind of the glue that holds our body together. It's in our skin. It connects our skin to our bodies. It's in a lot of our joints. It keeps them stable, keeps them from slipping around. It's pretty rare. It only affects 1 in 5,000 to 10,000 people, so you're probably only going to have 1 student in the whole school who has Ehlers-Danlos. There's 3 common types: hypermobile, classic, and vascular. What you need to know about that is vascular is the one type that is very serious. It's life-threatening because it also affects the linings of blood vessels and arteries, which can rupture. You definitely want to make sure you have a serious emergency plan in place if you have a student with vascular EDS. The symptoms primarily affect the joints and the skin. In the case of the joints, they're hypermobile. They're prone to dislocations and subluxations. Subluxation is like when your toe locks. It's the joint gets out of place but isn't dislocated. And some people have chronic joint pain, and they're also at risk for early onset arthritis. The skin is very soft, velvety to the touch, stretchy. They can pull it out away from their bodies. It's also fragile. It bruises easily, particularly in the classic and vascular types. And there's slow wound healing. You'll see scars and bruises on these children. It doesn't mean that they're being abused. It's part of the syndrome. Ehlers-Danlos is a genetic condition, so it's a lifelong condition. It's very debilitating for some people. For other people, it's very mild. It is considered a 504 disability, so your student may have a 504 plan in place. They may not also if it's not affecting them that much. Some big concerns: making sure there's an emergency plan in place, and then taking care to avoid injury, preserve the joints, and take care of the kid's emotion, because it is a disability, and it's a hidden disability that's affecting their ability to participate in school activities. Accommodations in the classroom fall into 2 categories. One is creating a safe environment, making sure the floors aren't slippery, making sure the furniture is ergonomic and adjusted correctly so they're not sitting in an odd position. It's basically avoiding injury. And the second kind of accommodation has to do with the finger joints, which may be weak, may be loose and slippery. And they may have poor fine motor skills, and they also may fatigue from writing for long periods of time. So some accommodations are help with note-taking, making sure they have pencil grips, and sometimes giving them additional time for taking tests or doing any kind of long writing assignment. The biggest restrictions for the Ehlers-Danlos student will be in the area of physical education. They need to avoid high impact, weight bearing, or contact sports, and that does eliminate quite a few sports. Swimming is a good sport, and if it's available at your school, it's great for the Ehlers-Danlos student. It builds their muscle strength, and it has very little impact on the joints. Some students may even need physical therapy or adaptive PE. Finally, if you want to find some more information about Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I'd recommend visiting one of the nonprofit organizations, ednf.org or edstoday.org.